It's New Beer Thursday! Woo! That was loud.
It was.
Well done,
it was
sir.
good. It was nice.
We're visited today by David.
Devin?
Devin,
Hello.
not David.
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 David Gillanders?
Gillanders.
Gillanders.
Yeah, it's one of those last names you're like, I think I know how to pronounce it, but I'm really not going to until he says it.
Like Brindleson?
Yeah. And this week we are doing Lagunitas because they suck.
They do.
Surprise!
We're doing big ass 40-ounce fuck you bottles of Lagunitas.
They are great big fuck off bottles.
This is a special beer. I don't know of another craft brewery that... Whoa. Wow.
That was
Well
impressive.
done.
Damn, open that one too, my friend.
Don't mind if I do.
I don't know of another brewery that's done... craft brewery that's done like 32 ounce.
These are 40 ounce.
These are 32.
Oh, they are 32. Why
Yes.
does the bottle?
The
The
bag
bag
says
says
40
40 ounce.
Well, it comes in a brown paper bag, but the bag's insulated.
It is insulated,
How
yes.
geeky is that? No, but it's a 32 ounce bottle of Lagunitas Sucks. And
Which is not like a new beer or anything. This is just a new method of
New
deliverables.
packaging.
And if
Yeah.
you
I don't need beer.
if you look at the label,
You thirsty?
No.
a brief history.
I
Lagunitas.
thought John was going to pour it. Sorry.
Well, we'll get to
You
this
get,
one
you get the
sooner
high
or
pour.
later. Damn,
The history? What were you
the
gonna say?
gravity pour.
Gravity pour.
They had a beer called Brown. Well, they still have a beer called Brown Shugga. It's really tasty. It's a holiday-ish kind of release, like seasonal release. There, you just did that.
Yep. It's a holiday release.
That's a dead soldier right there.
Pour a little out.
Totally not gonna make a mess all over the table. It was a holiday beer.
And to the best of my knowledge, certain things didn't happen one year, and they couldn't make that beer logistically. So instead, they put out a beer called Lagunitas Sucks, because so many people love Brown Shugga, and they were like, well, you know what, we
It sucks that we can't do this beer.
fucked it up.
Yeah,
And we
exactly.
suck. So they owned it. Turns out, this is one of the best beers. Like, it's an IPA.
yeah.
Like, I think it's a double-ish.
It's a double, right?
Cheers,
Well, let's-
cheers
let's-
to them sucking.
Cheers this.
Cheers to this.
First here,
Their
real quick.
suckage.
8%.
So yeah, it's on the double-ish side.
But it's
All
it's
kinds of good
fantastic.
hops in there.
Yes,
My God. It's piney, it's fruity, it's citrus, it's
That's pretty much everything you want it to be.
got like a candy.
Well, and Lagunitas,
That's sweetness, right?
Lagunitas
Yeah.
is a brewery that's been around forever. It's another one of those breweries that you've probably seen on the shelves and overlooked because it's not something you hear a lot of in the world.
I'm going to tangent on that. If you've ever seen the beer Hop Stupid, in my opinion, one of the worst labels ever. I don't even know what the label means. It's very generic
misspelled
and kind of
stupid.
weird. It's STOOPID.
Yes.
Stupid.
But it's one of the best beers. Like, it's really hoppy. It's just delicious. I mean, if you see it and it's fresh, buy it. I mean,
Buy it, yeah, pick it up. If you see it and it's old, complain to the beer buyer there because that's another one of those beers that should be taken off the shelf when it's not good.
yeah, when it's,
Yeah,
when
the
it's
fresher
old.
the better with that one, but it's delicious.
You know, one of the things I think that gets lost, like in the mix a little bit, like craft beer renaissance or whatever, like you can find this at Fresh and Easy. You know, you can find this at every single grocery store. And I think what happens is a lot of people get involved and they get very particular very quickly with which beers they like and don't like. And when they see this somewhere next to bigger craft beers, they kind of automatically just write it off as, you know, your standard generic
I can
IPA,
see that.
hello,
Like,
and
I was
stuff.
just
And that's
talking
dangerous to
to
do. You
you-
should try it anyways. You know?
Well, I mean, I found Lagunitas IPA. Like, they haven't just an IPA. I found that at a Chevron.
Yeah.
Like, by my house. A Chevron.
Yep.
Which
Right.
Yep.
you could say is tacky, but
No,
if
it's
you go
good.
there to get gas and you walk in and they have Lagunitas,
And you need a six-pack?
that's awesome, dude.
Well, no, and I
And so
think
I see what you're saying. Like, you would see, and this gas station honestly has Lagunitas and Stone IPA.
Stone, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's their only IPA, and then it's all Budweiser and Miller and the black whatever.
well, and Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Yeah.
Right,
No,
it's
not even
everywhere.
Sierra Nevada.
No?
Wow.
It's kind of
Yeah,
surprising.
it's
That's,
weird.
that's a shocking oversight.
And so I can see how people would just kind of go, who, why, would I bother? And
Well, and that's the thing is that a lot of people that come into the craft beer world, the first thing they think of is like, well, craft beer is beer that I can't find anywhere. And so when they see it at Sprouts and Ralph's and Vaughn's and wherever else, they're
I think
like,
that's- I
well, that's
think-
probably not craft, so I need to go to
think-
like, you know, this other beer.
I think that's a new,
It's a
I
newbie
don't want to say
mistake.
newbie thing, but it is a new newbie mentality.
Yeah.
For someone like me, I'm not a veteran, but I've been drinking craft beer long enough to know that
You're
I
a
don't,
veteran
I
at
don't
this
want to
point.
have to like go to the same place. It'd be so awesome if I could just go to a grocery store
Right.
and get some good craft beer. And Sprouts.
Yeah,
like you
Sprouts
said,
is a great example.
You go there and that's where we shop for our food, and they have a really fine selection.
Trader Joe's,
poor man's Whole Foods.
Trader Joe's also.
Trader Joe's is another example. When I worked there in the mid-2000s, that was like a good place to get decent beer from small craft brewers.
Yep.
So, and this beer particularly, let's talk about this because this is the focus of the show.
Tangerine candy.
Yes, thank you. I was gonna say this is a lot of the like juicy fruits,
Exactly.
and that come off of this, especially in the flavor profile. I almost get a little bit of a dankiness on the aroma.
I was going to say that it's really. It's got a slight hint of dankiness to where you like want to chew the aroma. You know what I mean? Where you smell it and it just affects you.
But the flavor profile is all citruses, all the juiciness,
Sorry, what?
all the citruses,
All the citruses.
all the citruses,
All the citruses.
not the one citrus, but all of them.
All of the citruses.
I'd say for the hop profile, it's got a lot of like the tart hops. That really kind of make you pucker for a really hoppy double
Pucker up,
IPA-ish
buttercup.
kind of beer. And I gotta say, like I remember when this came out, like I saw metal.
Metal.
I do this a lot in the
Black
show.
metal
right?
face.
metal.
I'm like doing something,
John is so metal.
Black metal John.
but I
Black metal John. That needs to be a new hashtag,
Starting now. There it is.
and that's the avatar for it.
Aroma.
I'm sorry, John. What were you gonna say?
John's like, I have
well
no
done,
idea.
well done, everyone. No, I remember when this beer came out, and it was like that's so innovative to call your beer sucks. Like
Yeah.
they just said, "Yo, we suck."
Yeah.
Deal
But then
with
they
it.
put a beer out that doesn't suck, and
Right.
I honestly remember the response to it online. People were like, "Wow, this is amazing!
Yes, yeah.
Keep making this.
Yeah.
Screw Brown Shugga.
Yeah.
Like that's a great
But
beer.
no, make brown sugar.
Yeah.
make this both, and now they do both.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
a
It was like that pissed off thing at first, like, oh fuck, no brown sugar. But this is really nice.
Yeah.
Thank you for this.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a great marketing ploy to like kind of to take attraction away from that one thing
Yeah.
into this other thing.
And I got to say, with the whole 32 ounce thing, like
That's pretty cool.
it's a whole different kind of market. This is clearly a beer if you drink this whole bottle, you're done.
You're screwed. Yeah.
I mean, it's.
Oh, I don't know.
Game over.
I could do 2 or 3
Well,
of these.
It's 2 pints of an 8%.
I'm gonna be honest. I agree with you. But it comes in this cool brown. I don't know if this comes with the beer or it's like a supplement thing you can get.
And full disclaimer, we were shipped this beer by Lagunitas
Yeah,
with
they
the
did
with the
provide us.
bags.
Thank you.
But
by the
Thank
way.
you for that.
I thought it would just come with a brown bag, but it's like it's got like a foam.
It's
Full
insulated.
insulator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go off
So-
to a master pairings.
Thank you.
Perhaps.
Let's do that.
Thanks.
Yes.
I mean,
And
Run away.
Yeah, it's been a while since we saw Bill.
Yeah.
hi, Bill.
Hey everyone, welcome to another Master Pairings. I'm your host, Bill Sysak. Today I have Stephen Johnson, of course, from New Brew Thursday. As you can see, our beers are already opened,
Ready to
but we'll
drink.
get to those in a minute. Let's talk a little about this delicacy in front of us.
Cheesecake.
Definitely going to raise your blood sugar. So it's
Or
a
drop
cheesecake,
it.
but it's more in the European style. Classic New York style cheesecake, of course, is straight up cheesecake.
Right.
Sometimes they'll have just a fruit
They'll put
over
like
the
that
top.
compote. Yeah.
Yeah.
I prefer it plain personally.
Well, you're just going to have to survive, Stephen.
That's all right.
This one has...
What is the stuff on the back though? I've been meaning to ask you. Is that like coconut or is it nuts?
No. It's nothing. It's just the neutral granules that
Okay.
they did, sweetened, probably from the gram, and it's and then a little whipped cream and then some glazed strawberries. So
right.
you'll just add. I wanted to do cheesecake, but I wanted to also show that even if there's different things on the cheesecake, this
Right.
kind of beer will work with them across the board.
You've got a couple of different big flavor profiles going on. You're going to have the creaminess and the like salty sweet flavor of the cheesecake versus the airy super sweet flavor of the whipped cream, and then the fruit notes coming from the strawberries.
Well,
So
you're going to
got a
get
couple of different-
vanillins from the whipped cream and the strawberries, but it'll all play in really well. What we have open in front of us already is the Flying Dog Imperial Gonzo Imperial Porter. One of my favorite beers. This is about a 6-year-old bottle, so it's spent some time in my cellar. I like beers like this aged. For those of you who don't know, I have a cellar of about 2,500 beers over the last 30 or so years.
At the end of the day, it'll be like 2,000.
Yeah, well, no. Luckily, I have some connections. It gets replenished. Anyways, cheers, Stephen.
Cheers.
So this beer is aged, so it's going to have some different nuances. Beautiful nose.
Definitely, a lot of the chocolate, a lot of the coffee is still there, which is really nice. Is it an accurate statement to say like that the coffee, chocolate, vanilla notes that come in through these beers, that they're equivalent to kind of like the hop profile of an IPA?
Well, they're from the grain,
They'll fall out a little bit more as it ages, or do you see like the hill plateau kind of thing where it's like sometimes it's dropped out, but then it comes back up, and then it, No,
what will happen, they'll definitely change. So when you get a fresh beer, especially an Imperial Stout or Imperial Porter, you're going to get from the roasted barley and the roasted malt, you're going to get coffee and chocolate notes, just generally. Sometimes a little anise, but basically coffee and chocolate notes. Now, you're going to get also, because it's an Imperial beer, a lot of time fusel alcohol notes. Now, those things are all going to be on their own unless the beer's been held for a year or so before it's been released. So you're going to be able to pick out all those. What happens is they don't fall off as much as, say, a hop profile does in a hoppy beer. They blend together into a more nuanced flavor profile. So they're there, but they're together. It's kind of like putting chocolate with your coffee as opposed to having coffee with a chocolate bar. So you're getting this coffee and chocolate come across, and then you're getting this little just hint of tartness. But it's so subtle, but it's there, and it just lays across your palate, and it actually adds a new nuance.
It lays across your tongue and says, "Paint me like one of your French."
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Like the Whore of Babylon.
The Whore of Babylon.
Yeah.
Even.
So, anyways, we can try this and see how it plays off of an aged Imperial Porter. Classic cheesecake profile, great graham. Let me get a little bit of whipped cream with it.
It brings a little bit more of the vanilla notes out of it. And I don't know if that's from the cheesecake or the beer, but I'm getting a lot of vanilla characteristic, a lot more like milk chocolate almost flavor profile. It's totally it's brought the coffee down quite a bit, and it's killed the oxidation.
Yes, well you'll find a lot of times this coffee and chocolate kind of are taken farther back out of the picture. It gets softer, rounder. What happens though is another part of oxidative beer when it comes to beers that you actually don't mind the influence of oxidation. They actually pick up winter fruit notes, but in this case, what it picked up was really cool is cherry, black cherry notes, and cola. It's really fun. So revisit that on your palate and see if you're seeing what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's almost like it brings that little tartness that you were talking about. It brings that tartness up, but it gives it that cherry note to it.
Yeah.
So it's almost like it becomes more of a incidental flavor versus an accidental flavor.
So now we're talking cherry jubilees jumping in there. I mean, we're talking old school. I mean, this is just really fun pairing. This will work really well, obviously, with a lot of things. These kind of aged porters are fabulous for obviously chocolate or coffee dishes. So you can do a tiramisu, chocolate cake, but also really fun with coconut or vanilla ice cream.
I lost my strawberry.
So any of those natural things that you would think of when you're talking barrel aged or bourbon, things like that, vanilla coconut or a stout, chocolate, coffee, all those things kind of come into play, and it just is really fun. So, like I said, you could do a wedding cake with this. This is a perfect beer for a wedding cake, by the way.
Yeah, but good luck getting 200 and some bottles of this. But
that's only for the head table.
Yeah, try it with the strawberry. Take a little bit of the strawberry, and it adds a sweetness to the profile of this beer that just is really phenomenal.
Oh yes, it kind of brings the beer back to home because the sweetness, the strawberry's perfectly right, and it has a very simple syrup glaze on it. They do that when they sell them to make them look sexier. But at the end, the strawberry is a strawberry, and so you get that nice tart burst. And what happens? It brings out the coffee now in the beer. And so now you're going back home with the roasted malts and getting that coffee note and the bitter chocolate.
But I really like this pairing because it seems like it's super basic. This seems like a super basic pairing, but with the different components and the age component of this, there's so many different things happening at different levels of what you're eating and what you're tasting.
And that's why I wanted to do this beer with this and do this, do it with a dish like this with all these different variations of flavor possibly in one mouthful, because actually what seems simple to people is chocolate and stout, but you can definitely do a lot of different things with different beers. And so this, so you can definitely do vanilla with chocolate. Think about it. I mean, so you get the swirl. So
one of these days on our master pairings, we need to do a float.
Oh yeah, we can definitely do. That's not a problem. thousands more ideas that I have. But yeah, I wanted to show you the nuances. So this is a really fun, complex thing. You can definitely do it with any of your Imperial Stouts, Imperial Porters. If you're a beer collector like myself and have aged ones, try it definitely with that. It doesn't need to be barrel aged, but it adds another complexity. The brandy, I'm sure if you had a brandy aged Imperial Stout would work. But also, so will a Scotch ale with the burnt caramelized sugars of the malts. Also, something like a brandy barrel angel share.
What I was actually thinking about for this is the Old Guardian in brandy barrels.
Yeah, I could see that.
Phenomenal.
You know, some barley wines are hop forward, and definitely Old Guardian is a hop monster.
Right.
But the older ones that have aged, like a 2001, 2002, would go beautifully with this. But I wanted to show a stout because you would think more. People have a tendency to think likeness of color, complexity kind of thing. You know, lighter beer, lighter food, things like that, just like with wine. But you can definitely do a vanilla type based dessert with a dark beer, and it will play beautifully. So the characteristics that you want to find are things that will play off of, that have any hint of sweetness in them or minimized hops. Although, you know, I do very sweet desserts with IPAs, so you can just play with it. So the bottom line is, go out there,
Experiment.
open when you have one of your favorite beers, enjoy it, but open another bottle and try it with one of your desserts and let us know what you think. So once again, thanks for watching another Master Pairing. Cheers, everyone. Cheers, Steve.
Cheers. Welcome back from a tasty Master Pairings.
It was lovely.
It was amazing. So David, you are responsible for us drinking a Magnificent 7, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, I was in the.
As I stroke my beard thoughtfully.
And look so nice and stoic doing so.
Yes.
Stoic.
Stoic. Yes. Stoic is very
Stoic.
You need if he's black metal John, you should be.
Apparently,
stoic.
I'm like 65 years old. I found that out today.
Yeah, I was in the Bay Area when they released it and bought a couple cases. It was like a single case limit, which was pretty crazy to me.
I love that you
That's
bought
pretty
that in the
epic.
Bay Area.
Yeah,
well, that's the only
Given
place
It's a
that-
collaboration with City Beer.
Right, right,
so-
yeah. So I just got home yesterday from the road trip of all road
From
trips.
St. Louis,
From St. Louis.
to
Four hands, bitches. What's up? I got the shirt there.
To Riverside,
I love it.
California.
It's like baby blue.
It is.
I never wear baby blue.
Yeah, it's.
You think that's baby?
guess
blue?
what?
I say it's
I'm
more
wearing
sky
baby blue right now.
Baby blue.
No, and like I was very happy to get this shirt. But yeah, no, I went out and I moved my man home with me. So we are together now.
And I understand you guys want a
Yay.
massive, like,
God.
unplanned.
Unplanned kind
Beer
of
trip.
brewery trip. Yeah, we spent New Year's Eve somewhere outside of Tulsa. We rang in the New Year somewhere outside of Tulsa.
I began the new year from sleeping.
Yeah.
I went to bed at like 10 o'clock.
We got to Oklahoma
9:15.
City at like 2 in the morning. But then the next day we're like, okay, this whole like driving 12 hours a day, that's not going to work because this sucks.
No, listen.
So let's just go to Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I remember ABQ Beer Geek was there, and like it's like there's like a beer scene there. So I was like, hey, I need to figure out like what I'm going to do in the Albuquerque scene. So I got a lot of feedback on Twitter and whatever of like, go to this brewery, go to that brewery, whatever. We ended up going to the only two breweries that were open,
Yeah.
which was Marble and Tractor.
Right.
Because it was, and I mean, La Cumbra, I really wanted to go to visit their brewery, but it was New Year's Day, they were closed.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah, so it's understandable.
Give 'em a break.
I'm
And
fortunate
it's-
that anything was open.
Yeah, it's hit or miss. Especially,
Right.
I would expect most breweries to have their tasting room closed on New
Right.
Year's Day.
Yeah.
But so Marble and Tractor were both open until midnight because we got in around 10 o'clock. And so we went to both those breweries. I got my 2500th beer.
25th, 100th.
I keep saying that.
2500th,
Yeah.
yeah.
2500th beer. I am now an Untapped Elite. Deal with it.
I am too. It's just unofficial.
I'm only behind like by 2000 or something.
Well, no, it's fine.
Big deal.
But Marble was a great brewery to do it at because all of their beers were delicious.
I've heard good things about Marble.
Yeah,
me too.
they had a lot of, and apparently they were very prominent in Breaking Bad, which
Yeah, that's right.
yeah. So good on you because that's a fucking amazing show.
Yep.
Tractor also really cool. The thing that stood out to me is that their entire bathroom is a big chalkboard,
Yeah.
and there is a lot of really
They're-
wise things written on that that bathroom wall.
Wise is I would assume vulgar myself.
No. Actually, there's a lot of
Cold Joe
there's a lot of
sucks a dick.
interesting advice on that wall, and some of it's quite wisdom.
When you do your best thinking, you know.
Dr.
Yeah.
Bill's bathroom is a chalkboard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
You ever go there?
My buddy
Write
Brad
something
has a
down.
chalkboard.
Thank you.
Wall.
So from there we went to Phoenix, and in Phoenix we went to Arizona Wilderness Brewing Company, which was amazing.
Friend of Brian Myron's.
Yes,
friend of the
Brian
show.
Myrons, and they serve your tasters on a log, which was awesome. I was like,
that
log.
that's so cool.
Yeah, there were photos on the
log?
internet of the logs.
And then we went
She
to
said, etc.
Papago Brewing Company, which isn't really a brewing company. I mean, they do brew beer, but it's all kind of weird. I didn't really understand what was happening. But they have an amazing bottle selection and an amazing tap selection for local brews around the area.
Hey, right on.
So it
That's
was
cool.
kind of cool to be able to sample a bunch of the different breweries in the area.
Yeah.
So I had,
So
had a couple of
it
really
sounds
good
like
brews
you
there.
might want to do some New Brew Thursday touring through the
Yeah,
South.
I
West.
really do
Southwest,
want to.
yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
we also went to the big Texas Steakhouse Ranch.
Is that the building that was like crazy colored?
It was all
and
bright
huge
yellow.
and
There was a
weird?
lizard on chopsticks. I really
was
still don't have words for that.
I heard they had big food and it was
You
good
can
food.
get if you order a 72-ounce steak, and if you can eat it all in an hour, it's a 6-pound steak.
You'll
72.
die.
Yeah.
If you can eat it all in an hour, you get it for free.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's
unless it costs
$300.
Right,
like
exactly.
$1
That's
million,
always the kick,
it's
right?
not
Yeah.
worth trying. But it was a great experience. I loved the road trip. It was fantastic. It set me in motion to be like, I want MBT to get in the car and just start driving to some breweries. So
Come to Orange County.
and John's like, do you understand what that entails?
we did it on the East Coast when we went to Dogfish, Victory, and Flying Dog. That was in the early days of NBT, and it worked out very well. But it is very tiring to do that. You just don't show up to a place and
Hey, we're gonna film a show here.
yeah, it's there's a lot.
It
more.
takes a lot of work.
But
yeah,
as far as getting back to the Lagunitas Sucks, thank you so much for sending us the beer.
Yeah, this
Yay,
is awesome.
Thank you.
I mean, this isn't the first time I've had it, but it's just a stellar beer.
The packaging's so cool. You know?
Definitely.
They are making a statement though with that. It is very much a.
It's typically Lagunitas.
That's
yeah,
definitely true.
it is
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, and
If Stone did this, I might go what are you doing this
Right.
for? But Lagunitas is like, oh yeah. it makes
yeah,
total sense.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Makes
right in
sense.
their wheelhouse.
Yep.
So
I'm surprised it doesn't come with a little pocket for your joints.
hey, next year,
Next year, pocket for your joints.
Just ideas. I mean, just ideas.
Just maybe the Colorado market.
get a pocket for the geodubs.
Hey, it's legal
So,
there.
as always, we have really nothing coming up except
Our
our anniversary party. Hello.
Which
It's
we're all
gonna be
sporting,
amazing.
we're all sporting the NBT.
Fourth beer glasses. They're
fourth
amazing.
anniversary glasses.
If you're sitting at your computer thinking, "Oh, I totally need to buy one of those glasses,"
Buy one.
Yeah, you need to do that, and you need to get on it quickly because they are selling out quickly.
We're only selling them to people right now that are going to the party.
Right.
If you're
And
not
if you're
going to the
thinking-
party, don't buy one because we'll refund your money back, and you can only order one after the party if you're not going.
I will totally
missed
spend
out
your
on it.
money and then tell you that you're not getting a refund.
Well, that's what John says, and that's what
No,
Steve
I will
says.
say that if you're waiting to think that you can show up at the party and buy one there,
Yeah.
I would really not do that because it's quite possible they will be sold out. So
It's hit or miss.
you may be able to, whatever, and good on you if you can. But buy a glass because you know what? We've done this for 4 years and we've never asked you for anything. So
we really haven't.
no.
Yeah.
So,
Help us
Lagunitas, thanks for the sucks. Thank
you. Yeah.
You truly do suck.
Yes.
And cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks, Dave, for being David.
David.
The show.
Thanks for having me. It was
And
fun.
until next week, stay safe and drink beer.
Cheers.